Cal and Lolly D.
Yay!
Woo!
Confetti! Confetti!
We follow Stam's orders these days. Where's Lolly?
Okay, we're good. Now. We got a lot of applause today. I don't know what's going on. Good morning, everybody, and thanks for being here. We're so glad everyone's here. Sensei Jay came to see who? Laex this time, right? Sensei Jay? Sensei Jay never comes to see our show. He only comes to see specific people on our show. So Sensei Jay's here. So we know we got a big deal guest right now, and we know we do, right? We have Laex today, and y'all know who he is. He's like royalty here in Horizons. But before he comes out, I got to tease Cal just a little bit because y'all might have known it's Cal's birthday this last weekend. How do you know? Because he told us all 50,000 times, right? That's how we knew.
He's 70 years old.
And then it's, are you guys coming to my birthday party? Is everyone coming to my birthday party? Anyway, happy birthday, Cal. We love you. And I will say his team made him the most beautiful cake. It was a beautiful cake. It was. It was really something.
It really did.
And then they did a big video where your whole team thanked you and everything. I was on there. Did you see me on there?
Oh, do you know what? That was the sweetest thing I've ever received.
Wasn't it?
Like it was lovely. Yeah. And
what did you think of everybody else on there besides me? About all the other people on there.
There was other people on the video. Oh, I only focused on
I know. I know. No, but it was really great. And your party was great. I thought your party was great. All those new floaty drinks and stuff. Those are cool. I like that. Fun.
Floaty drinks.
The floaty drink. The Mary Poppins drink or whatever. That was fun. I like that.
Oh, the Mary Poppins. Yeah. The floaty drinks.
The floaty drink.
That's gonna stick.
I thought it was good.
Gonna stick. Yeah, they're great. I've got a great team. What can you say?
Yes, you do. You do. And that was really
good.
For
someone turning 70, is it, Lily? Right?
I know. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. That's a long way for me, Cal. Long way for me. I'm sorry you're there already.
Restarted again for Lolly, so she must have hit an age and started at 0 again. Is that right? I'm sorry.
I want to talk to HR, and then someone told me he is HR. Are you really HR for the Soapstone? Because I have an issue with that. You are?
On the complaints department, by the way, just let you know.
Oh, well, we'll talk after. Okay. All right. So anyway. I know. I can't win in here. I know that. Anyway, I have an ageism complaint. I'm going to file it. So I just want you to know that.
That's fine.
Anyway.
That's fine. Well,
okay.
I get to age complaints around, about 50 years' time. So, yeah.
This is abuse. This is just flat out abuse. Anyway, I'm so glad you're all here. Okay. Anyway, good job, Cal. And also, Cal just opened a teen version, right, of the pub.
Yes.
Yes, right. So you got that. So I know you're just copying the Soapstone, but that's okay because we got our team. We got our Soapstone Junior, which we know about, right? Soapstone guy, right? Yeah. So things are starting to pop for the kids. It's kind of cool. There's things happening, right? So that's really good news. Our Soapstone Junior with Orion, is he here? Orion, are you out here? I don't know. Orion might not be here today.
No, but Kimberly Ann's here somewhere.
Oh, Kimberly Ann. Okay, Kimberly Ann too. She's the other co-host, and oh my gosh, that thing has taken off. It's amazing. You got and I've heard you talk about the group of kids you got, right? You've got some really, really good kids in there. Yeah, awesome. So it's good.
That's me.
Like our Soapstone guy here. Yeah.
I have heard a complaint come to being HR of a Soapstone guy or something. Pain. Yeah. So what we'll have to do, we'll have a chat with this guy, and we'll remove him forever.
You're so polite, Cal. Very nice.
Really nice guy. Yeah. No,
I would never do that, Soapstone guy. That is not something I would do. You know that.
Yeah,
he's a great kid, and do you know what? He's an asset to have at our shows as well. Like, it's really, little ambassador for the teens. I love it.
Definitely a good ambassador. So thank you for that. All right, well, everybody is here. Is Jessica here? She's usually here. I see. What's his name back there? The red beard dude.
Mayhem.
Man, I blanked out there for a second. I don't know why that happened.
It's fine. I apologize for Lolly. It's an age thing. I do apologize.
All right, enough. Okay, you know what? We're wasting time. Sensei Jay's getting bored over there. I can see him tapping his feet. He's tapping his feet now. Okay, so can't you see it? Can't you see it? Okay, so today we have the world famous Laex, who we want to welcome up to the stage. Y'all know him. He is Horizon royalty. You know, I will say, Laex, come on up. I will say, Laex, that of all the guests we've had on here, and we've had some amazing guests. We've had amazing guests up here. Most of them, are in the audience today. A lot of them, and they've all said wonderful things about all of you. But this particular gentleman, I never have heard. Oh yeah, give it the royalty wave. You can learn that from Solaris. Solaris can teach you the royalty wave. I have heard the most amazing things. I have Laex. I have heard the most amazing things about you, and I sincerely mean that. There wasn't a person that I talked to that didn't have just gushing reviews of you and what you've done in here. From he's the most giving person. He's the one, you look in any world, you can see him in there. The things that you've built. There are people who are giving you credit for almost single-handedly, because of you, the Horizons even took off. So that's a lot of accolades for one guy. So congrats. Avora, you might have to hit the off button on that. I don't know why it keeps doing that.
Too much, but I appreciate it.
No, but it's what I've been hearing since I've been telling everybody, and you can see we have a full house here of the who's all in the audience. Unemployed even came today. He never comes to our show.
Last night, right there. He came to our show. Zach the artist.
He came to our show. He's over there.
Before we're going to sleep.
Wow.
It was that guy. Last person I video called with. Last video
OcuLos?
guy I video called with in the shower, naked.
Okay, let's.
Sorry, that might be a little personal.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't talk about that.
I thought we were talking everything. We got age, my cleaning habits.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to this show.
This is getting the tea right here at the Soapstone.
Oh man, it's to be here, you guys.
Yeah, we're really happy, and we know how busy you are, and that's why we really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be here with us. And keep those points coming because we want Laex to get them. Cal and I are just here for extra because Laex, we have this contest. I did see that, and I thought, what a great idea. I'm writing it down. Right? So Cal is always trying to catch me on the points. He never does, but he does keep trying. And so, there's that.
I've been told a lot of things. I'm not deserving of a Quest Pro because I already have one. Is that right, Exterminator? I'm not allowed to win it. Yep.
That's right. I agree.
Which is fair. I just not.
I guess if I wanted to give it away.
If I do win it, Aaron, I'd like to donate it to my next favourite person, which is called A Very British Bot, which is my bot account. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
You're such a giver. He's such a giver. So Laex, so you got into Horizons like right away, right? You were at the ground floor when it all started, or no?
Well, this is a fun story. So I spill a lot of beans. I'm pretty known for being leaksing. So I'm going to tell you a little something about the origins of Horizon. When they started this, VR has always been a very male-dominated space, but they wanted this to feel very inclusive. So it was always one woman, one man was invited at the same time. So my wife got an invite first, and I was like, what the heck? Why is she getting an invite? So I went into her account. And I added myself as a collaborator to one of her worlds, and the next week later I got an invite. So I don't know how the program works, but I think I hacked it. So you heard it here first. I'm a hacker. Anyway,
so when was that? In 21 or 20? When was that about?
September. Yeah. August, September of what probably was 2021, right? I don't know. Go back a few years. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. Yeah. So you come into this new space and you look around and what happens? What did you think?
I was gonna leave. Absolutely gonna leave. This place had nothing in it. Let's say, first of all, I thought it was localized to like your local city because I'd go to the plaza and no one was there. It took a month before I finally met a person, and the first person I met was RC Deggs, and she took us on a 3-hour tour of amazing art world by the community, and it was the most pivotal moments in my Horizon Worlds journey. which is why I share it, because of her and that one first interaction, which we later saw Oculos has been trying his best to make sure everybody gets that same interaction where you go to world tours on Wednesday and you get to go and find a bunch of different worlds. Also, shout out to Terminator, who's also been doing that for our friends in the morning. Lots of amazing tours happening here. And those experiences are what get people hooked into Horizon. And I know it's what got me started. And I was like, oh my gosh, you can build, you can make art. And they took us to some Hiro Miyazaki worlds, like the Totoro ones. And, this is prior to the amazing work that would come out by our good friend. How do you pronounce his name again? Charizard. Anyway, he did some phenomenal Miyazaki film work as well. Anyway, love all the fan art. And that's where it got started. And so I started building some worlds that were like mazes, and they were so cheesy and bad. The really quick story though is when I wanted to start scripting, it took me about 2 months to even open the script block because I was so scared of opening it. I saw it in the gizmos tab and I wouldn't even pull it out. I was so afraid of what that would 2 months to build what I actually intended to build. And that struggle is the reason I became a teacher, is because I wanted to make that less hard for everybody else. And there were no tutorials really at the time. And the documentation was actually inaccurate. Like nobody had gone and made documentation for Horizon Worlds. So it was all really, really bad. And anyway,
so here you are. Let's just picture what you're going through. We're over here saying, like, people like me, like, wow, it's so hard, which I know it isn't, but we just too lazy to do all the reading or watching your videos. But I can't imagine you guys just coming here and going, so point,
does this work?
Click. What did you guys do? Yeah. Did you just start playing with the controllers to see what they would do, or there were no instructions?
I made something that I had no idea what this meant at the time. But one of the early things that I did is kind of like a learning piece is I built a hammer, and with the hammer you could hammer an object and lock it in place. And if you hammered it again, it would unlock. And so you could build your own world inside of the published world. And so unbeknownst to me, very major players in the space came in. We saw, that I remember, were Waffle Copters and Elastic Plastic. And they were both in there saying, wow, this is really cool. I've never seen anything like I just thought they were random people on the internet. I had no idea how amazing these were. A month or so later, I would be talking to Waffle again in one of his puzzle worlds, and he was like, hey, you want to come see Zap Zap in build mode? And so I finally got to look at that. Now, Waffle's a really nice guy, but I don't bother him. I like to let him, do his thing. So, but being able to see his scripts, I was like, oh my gosh, I finally fitted pieces to the puzzle. Like, it made sense. And he'd later teach me some math lessons, which I am extremely grateful for. But most of the scripting I learned on my own, like just brute forcing it. And so, but I also feel like that's an advantage, right? So a lot of people come in with some scripting, like pre-knowledge, and I feel like that holds them back because they're looking for things that don't exist. Whereas I had to like learn the fundamentals, and now I know the tools that are available. Anyway, but we're trying to get all that information out. And the one thing that I say to everybody is, I was just talking to a guy a couple nights ago. He's building a roulette table, and he was like, I'm going to do it with triggers. And I was like, oh, well, that's not the way that I would do it. But like, that's the thing is, I showed a butterfly I made a couple years ago to Waffle. And he's like, what in the world? Why did you use triggers and all these weird things to make it work? And I was like, that's how I know how to do it. And so I encourage people to do it the way they know how to do it, because there isn't one right way. And sure, the way I would do it now is full of math, but in the past, I totally hacked everything together like a lot of creators today do. And so yeah, just do what works, and it'll probably break at some point, in Horizon. But the further and further along you get, the more advanced and more crazy things you can come up with. So.
And then you keep learning how to simplify it so that it takes up less room, right? Isn't that the whole? Isn't that where you guys really your real skills come in, because you're trying to accomplish things with less space used?
Nowadays, yeah, that's probably the big thing we're known for. But that's definitely not where it started. But the complexity is huge. It's absolutely enormous. Have you seen our newest world?
We have. We had a personal tour guide. Takatato took us on a personal tour. He took our whole team on a tour this morning. Yeah, it was great.
We're working on a new world called Horizon Royale. And we chose the name Horizon because we want it to feature lots of creators. And so this is our first time announcing it to the public, but we are going to be creating a template world that you're going to be able to create your own map for this Horizon Royale. And so the thing is, we're using asset spawning, which means we can have unlimited number of maps. Currently, we have 5 demo maps, and Takatato's made 3 of them. We've got one by Up Too Late, one by who's the third person? Oh, me! I forgot I made one. And then we have one by Kate Austin's making one right now. Mama Bree's going to be making one, and so we have some like testers kind of testing making maps so we can make a better template. But once we've got through this testing phase, we're going to release a public template and allow people to make submissions. And then if they meet all the criteria, like making sure it's low on cap, it fits inside the bounding box that we design, we'll have rules to make it a lot easier. But
I have a technical question. It's important to me to clarify this. I need to know this. When Takatato made those 3 maps, when one of his maps show up, is it always in the same position, or when it comes back the next time, it randomizes
always
too?
Randomized, yeah.
Oh, so well then he told me tiles. The truth.
We have 10 large tiles, and we have 10 small tiles, and they're randomly placed on the grid and rotated so that every time it's different. But the thing is, they don't all have to come up. So in the 10 tiles, there's usually one large double-story tile, and that doesn't always happen. So sometimes you'll get 2 tall buildings, sometimes you only get 1 or 0. And so
they're in different places all the
dynamic.
time.
Exactly.
Well, see, I didn't believe him because he took us in there and kept kicking our butt. And I go, that's because you know the map. And he kept saying, no, they're random. And I'm like, sure they are.
Practice does make
he was true.
You know, it does have an impact because you learn different maps. Like the pipe one, you can hide in pipes but quickly pop out and then hide back away. Yeah. And then there's ones where you learn how to like get up to certain heights, and totally he's been playing for a while. Y'all get there. But
I know. But I will say, how exciting is that? You can basically hang out in there and you're getting something new constantly. And it's fun to watch the map pop up. We were doing that earlier, watching it change and pop up. It was fun. So, that was good.
Why is this crazy for complexity is the real question. I mean, I brought up this new map, but how does that relate? The thing is, we have 16 players in a PvP map. Can anybody else talk about a map that has 16 players? Also, shout out John McClay. Oh my gosh, dude, I haven't seen you in forever. Has anyone seen a PvP world with 16 players in it? Because they're all 6, maybe 12 if you got Action Island, right? So 16 just takes the cake, which is what we're excited about. And here's the crazy part. We still have 20% capacity left. So
that's great.
We're adding new guns. We're adding more leaderboards and stuff. So lots of stuff coming down the pike for that. We just added a map selector. We're 1 week into the build of this, by the way. We've been working on this for 1 week.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. We had a blast in there this morning. The colors and everything are very good. It's a very attractive world for everybody. I liked it a lot. It was good.
Probably put in 100+ hours at this point already. It's just been insane, but a lot of fun. And I mean, I have not slept. I literally spent the last 3 days on that chair in the real world. And my poor wife has had to listen to me the entire time because I'm in the living room. That was like yesterday. I was like, oh man, I've been in all day. She's like, you've been in all 3 days.
She's like, hello.
I wake up, I go to bed. I wake up, I go to bed. But yeah,
you can take your glasses off and you will have no eyes left. They'll be gone.
Yeah,
I dream. Let's talk about what you did before you put on the VR headset. Tell us a bit more about you. Like, who are you personally? Before Horizon.
Yeah, absolutely. Before Horizon, I was a videographer, I guess. I say I guess because it was just it's been a weird ride. Let's see. Yeah, so I started doing video when I was in middle school. And then in high school, I continued it, did it in college, got a couple film awards, but wasn't able to get they wouldn't accept me into the film school. They accepted me into the business school, but not the film school. So throughout the business school, I studied every film class I could take. So I took like law and film, which is where you watch all the legal films, which was so boring. But I was like, anything with the word film in it, I will take it for the credit, as long as it matches my degree path. And so I was constantly taking as many art classes as my electives would allow. And eventually, I just dropped out of college because I did get my first 2 degrees. But when I wanted to go to get my third, I was like, nah, I don't need to finish that. So it was the one last class I needed to take was how to start a business. And I'd already started a business and was running it. And I was flying back and forth between states doing it. And I was like, I don't need to finish my degree. I'm already doing my business. It's not like I'm trying to get a job or anything. So, and it was going to cost like another $20,000. So if you have to choose between $20,000 of debt and continuing what you're already doing. you guys make that decision for yourself. But,
well, and you can learn trial and error, and there's so many people that can help you with running a business. That's, I mean, classes are great. I've taken the classes too. I've taken all of them, but everything I learned that of real value in running my business, it was trial and error. And don't do that again.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I did that. Then, I actually got married pretty shortly after college. And
nice.
Yeah. So we've been married 9 years this year. So
congratulations.
Wow, I'm 28. Yeah. Do the math. Okay. I was really young.
You were young. And you have kids too, right? You got some
17.
Kids?
My first college
degree was at 17. Wow, amazing.
Congrats. Yeah, no,
so we got a little Doogie Howser over here. What is that? Is that what were you like in high school in the 5th grade, or
my parents told
how'd
me
that
in
work?
middle school I was going to do the college thing in high school, and I was like, okay, whatever you say, parents. And so I always knew I was going to, so I was just ready for it when it happened.
Nice.
My parents just really pushed on me for that, but yeah. So when I got married at 19, I felt like I was 21. I didn't feel like I was 19, but I would say I was still young.
And you have a couple kids too, right? You got some kids?
One. She was born this past year. She's 7 months now. And,
oh my God! Congratulations!
Yeah, I think we waited the right amount of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, now is a difficult time with all the things happening running a new business, but yeah. So then did video work, did live streaming work, ran around the world doing that. I was the manager for North America for a really major European company, and so we did lots of crazy stuff. So like the biggest project I worked on, we had a $300,000 budget, and we had 35 people working for us over the course of like 3 months, doing 11 live streams for 10 days straight, like simultaneous live streams. So
oh wow, that's a lot.
Project. So like coming to Horizon wasn't like super crazy to run like projects, but I really needed OcuLos410, who's the budget guy. He's got a really great business mind, and I couldn't do it without him. So it's really
kudos, Oculus.
So I get a lot of credit for video, but the thing that I started was just to help as many people as possible, and we've had lots of great people come along the way, and helping. So yeah.
And that is definitely evident. We've talked about that in this show many times, that the most successful people in here are the givers, the ones that are like, yeah, learn from me, and let me learn from you. And they're just giving, not
too.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, beautifully. Yes. But also it has brought them great success. I mean, we all talk about Aaron being that type of person. I know Oculos is that kind of person. I benefited from his, and both of them myself, I've benefited from both of them. Oculus, did you want to come up here? Do you want to come on up or? Come on.
He's like, I guess if you'll have me. I mean,
do the wave. You gotta do the wave.
Good, nice spin there.
Yeah. So we
because it's easier to handle him closer than from the audience in case he's
so you got that mind control from a distance. Like, don't say that.
He can see. That's why I turn my facial expressions on, because I need him to see my eyes. Like,
I see. Awesome. Very good. Well, so I have a question. Tomato World inspiration. What was inspiration for
we were eating
you?
tomatoes together, and we were cheersing tomatoes, and we were like,
is it the whole fruit vegetable argument? Did it start there? Did it just start there?
The name is Tomato, so that's actually the name of the company who hired us was Tomato. They actually had most of the vision themselves. I mean, we definitely brought it to life, but they wanted a planet that was split in two, that was a giant tomato in a galaxy. And we did give them the idea of like flying through the planet, and gave them a lot of like, here's the way that this will work best in Horizon. Unfortunately, they were really open to the feedback. So we had to be hard with them. I think that's one of the things that we see lacking in a lot of builds, is making sure to say no when you need to say no and put your foot down. And there was things they wanted that we knew would not work. Like, so yeah, Oculus.
Yeah, with the Tomato Group, we were so excited. They already had a vision. They had this amazing idea laid out. But if you look at like people's vision boards who have never been in VR or Horizon specifically, they are already out in space, which clearly that's why Tomato Galaxy, we're literally in outer space. And we have to kind of rein that in a little bit. Instead of saying you can't do this, we say this is what we can do within Horizon, within capacity. And like said, you have to be able to say no. We've seen so many people who just go on the yes train and then the world shows it. You put too much in and it takes away from what it could be. And we really did a great job in managing those expectations while delivering an amazing world. Well, set of worlds.
Yeah.
Yes. And it is amazing.
Yep.
It's engaging.
Rexrod.
It makes you want to stay in there.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, very engaging. Yeah. We thought so.
We were very lucky to get to work with Rexrod, who, I mean, has some of the best aesthetic design, especially when it comes to backgrounds. So he designed all the backgrounds in all 4 of the Tomato Worlds. And the thing I think that was most important was when we take them to worlds, like they can see the Mellow Mountains and these amazing aesthetical worlds, and they do look really gorgeous. But a lot of times what we'll find is people have never been in Horizon, number one. They probably don't even own a VR headset because they're coming from corporate that's just like, we need to do metaverse, we need to do metaverse. So they literally don't know. And so then
Do metaverse for us.
their expectation is these fantasy pictures they find online. And so when we start showing them the basics, they're like, this isn't beautiful enough, this isn't more detailed enough. And so we'll then take them to the apartment and be like, this is the par for Horizon Worlds. This is the par. Okay. Now let me show you Rexrod's work. He is so above par. This is the best of the best. And we are performing at that level. And that's really helped and like showcase like, okay, look, people expect what you see in the apartment. And if you have created a world at that level, you're doing a good job. But if you can do better, you're doing insanely well. And we were like, this world's amazing.
And the best part was that Rex's work is so good. People thought we were leaking like unreleased features, like the skybox. They were like, this has got to be something that no one has access to. I'm like, you're right. We have access to Rexrod's amazing work in this world. That is exclusive.
So true. It's so
he is
true.
the early access for sure. There's nobody that compares when it comes to his architecture and background.
And as much as leaks go, he's going to cut me off. But we tried to get these early access features. I mean, genuinely, we tried to get the photos because we had 10 brand integrations in Tomato Galaxy, and we had to make each of those logos by hand. It was over 100 objects in some of the cases.
Wow.
Shout out Euphoria.
And, you know, like, so like we, but our team that we were working with at Meta was actually not based in the U.S. They didn't have the same contacts that I'm sure UA has, and so unfortunately, we never got the access to bring in images. So we had to do it all by hand, the same way y'all would do it. So everything you see in Tomato is released features, except for one thing, which I shouldn't. I'm gonna say it. We only used one thing. That's not
Cut the commercial.
I'm not even
Cut the commercial.
Cut the commercial. Cross-world variables is a thing that hasn't come out yet. I think it would have come out last year had we not lost so many great people during the layoffs. Things have just had to take a reorg at Meta. So we actually anticipated that by the time we published the world, that would have been out to the public. And the reason I feel like it's okay to say it is because you can just see it. I mean, you grab your race pack and you can see the numbers is traveling with you from world to world. And you see it here in the
we noticed
Soapstone
that
even.
was cool. That would travel with you, the information. Yeah. I unfortunately spent most of my time in the washing machine because some people just kept hitting me with tomatoes, which was really rude.
That almost didn't make it into the game, into the world.
Oh, yeah. We had to fight for the washing machine because they were afraid of the liability of people going into their real world washing machines, which I was dying from because I've done that. If you go to my personal Instagram and look back through my photos, you'll see me actually in a washing machine. In this business meeting, they're like, we can't let people get into real
Children never do that. Children never do that. Never.
That's why it's on the washing machine. It says, do not do this in, what does it say?
They were really
like
worried
like that.
about it. And I was just kind of like,
Taka told me not to go in there, but I was covered in tomato. I had to go in there.
There's a reason hot coffee has a warning label on it, so we have to label things that people just instinctively think is okay.
Anyway.
That's a lawsuit with McDonald's. I remember the whole thing. That McDonald's thing. Did she win that?
There's definitely a matter of making sure that we do what's right for the community. I felt like every step of that journey for us was making sure that we built this world for the community to enjoy. And the washing machine was one of the most fun mechanics. We had to make sure that was stayed in there. And there were other little things that they just weren't sure about. And we're like, no, you gotta keep this. Like the Roomba that you can stand on. They're like, really? People enjoy standing on? They're like, you don't even understand.
Yeah, we stood on it.
Exactly.
Weeks of negotiations.
There was so many things that were like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't align with business. And we're like, this is fun. People are giving us good feedback. And that was a huge important part was the tester program, which we launched through Tomato Galaxy. Oculus, would you like to talk about that?
Oh, I can't stress enough how important testing was for the Vidu verification program and where it kind of evolved to. Originally, we were just talking about we need testers that know how to do this and are really experienced with that. And then it kind of just narrowed into, well, let's just get a wide variety of testers that do all of the things because we never know what we're going to get from it. And when we launched it, we said, well, how do you verify a tester? And so Laex and I, after a lot of, going back and forth and discussion, we said, let's not verify them. Let's just get them to get through the initial assessment to answer some questions so they at least understand what testing means to us. And then they went out and did their own testing. Some people wanted to break it. Some people wanted to just enjoy it. Others wanted to just give feedback. And because of that, it was just a successful launch of Vidu Verification's tester program. And it was essential.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you guys to talk about a little bit is the whole Vidu experience and how did you get to be the ones who do all the tutorials and how did that happen?
So the first thing is the tester program, which I think we should just quickly finish highlighting is a free program. You go to vidu.com/getvv and you can become a tester. We pull from those testers. We also have a special Discord for our testers where you can find out about opportunities. So definitely encourage you to do that. But you can, if you are a world creator, access these same testers by going to vidu.com/vv, and you can see all the testers listed in there. You can search by people who've listed themselves as testers. And so I highly encourage you to check that out. It's a free thing to use. It's a free program to join. We do have a paid version for our builders and scripters, and they get an hour with or half an hour with Sensei Jay, which is a really valuable moment to get your feedback on your world creation. If you don't pass the test, you get to actually do it again. And honestly, Jay knows as much, if not more than me. I mean, he literally made 2 tutorials this past week where I was learning and I was just like, bro, this is so good. So, honestly, he's just the best to have as the evaluator. So really appreciate him doing that.
Yay, Sensei Jay.
Ooh, and I want to mention something about Jay as an evaluator. First of all, not only is Jay an amazing, incredible evaluator, all of the adjectives that means he's just amazing, but we were talking about what happens if somebody records the assessment, because people love to just find ways to be negative online. And we said, what if somebody records it and really just has something like a troll world and they just completely tank the assessment, and maybe it's something that people start saying, Vidu verification bad, and somebody recorded the assessment. And I'm like, oh God, we got to watch this. And they were raving the entire session from the moment Jay entered the world until the video ended was fun, and it was engaging, and it was like a huge learning experience. And I was like, I can't believe it. This is amazing. And we should have been surprised because we knew that Jay's just an incredible assessment guru, and he's so like a wealth of knowledge. But it was like
he's a good pirate too. Have you seen his pirate?
He is an amazing pirate too. But I just want to finish the thought about the fact that we were concerned about somebody on the internet completely reversing the idea of educating and elevating creators, and it just further proved that this is a working and a valid and a valuable thing to have. So I can't stress enough, just check it out, go online, do the free assessment, and worst case you learn something, because all of the answers are in the questions. It's literally a link to the video for it. And the one day we launched it, I said, I'm going to go ahead and spoil it. I'm going to put out here all of the answers revealed to Vidu verifications, and I put a link to the YouTube channel. And it was hilarious. People were like, I can't believe you did that. Why would you leak the answers to the questions?
Because we want you to know them.
Make it hard. The goal is to level up the community, because this actually came as an idea from Oculos and Pigeon. They came to me and they said, hey, the community needs this. They need some sort of like level set of expectations. Businesses are coming in here. We need to make sure that worlds are built at a par that is going to elevate our community. And so the program was not designed, you don't even have to pay to get the education. All the education is free, and it's links to the videos, and you can see what's in the assessment. So we're really trying to help people pass and just grow their skills. And we really believe that as you elevate the community, it elevates all of us. We all rise with the tide. So
yep.
Yeah. That's so true. That is so true, because this, a very technical person has all kinds of information, and then there's that person way over here in left field, somebody like me who doesn't know anything, goes, what about that? You just you never know where a good idea is going to come from. And I applaud you guys for including everyone. You include
and
everyone.
Video verification solved a number of problems that we didn't even realize that Horizon had. Number one being, how do we find talented creators? And that was the first thought. We've got all these people we're trying to educate, but how do we find them? And then we said, well, how do we educate people to make them great creators? And then we said, well, how do we give them opportunities to be able to get paid in this space? And we're just thinking about all these problems. And then video verification, we were like, wait, we can assess, we can educate, we can elevate, we can share. It's like all the things in one. And we're like, yeah, we'll get back to it. And then like 4 months later, we're like, we should really kick this thing off because we're still in the same situation. And I'm so glad that we did.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. It's just amazing. Those little video clips you guys have are so helpful. I mean, it's like, and they're so short and sweet. And yes, we have Phoenix out there, the voice and the face of those clips, which are great. And we appreciate her very much. And it's what I like about it is they're short, sweet, get to the point. It's like when you're doing something, I just need to know how to do this, and you push the button, you're like, oh, thank you. And and it's great. It's really great tools.
Yeah,
very well done.
Talk about how we got there. If you asked and we hadn't circled back to
yes,
it, so.
Please tell us.
Well, okay, so we talked a little bit about the struggle, and I mean, I think this is important to talk about because I think anyone who's come to like do something they're so passionate about probably went through a struggle, and I don't know if that's true or not, but I saw it in Oculus as well. He came to Horizon, he couldn't find worlds, he couldn't understand worlds, and so he wanted to fill that for people, and that's where World Tour started from. And for me, it was the education problem, and now I educate, and the ability to make these videos, these educational pieces, and put them out as soon as the day the update would come out. I mean, we would dig and we'd publish the update. I haven't been able to pull that off in forever. In fact, I was actually planning to ask Sensei Jay if he could help us make that happen again, and just bring back update videos, because those are some of the people's favorites to see what's new in Horizon when the new update launches.
Yeah.
It's just so hard because sometimes you won't get that feature until 2 weeks later. And so we'd literally have to dig through photos of that other people had posted to make those videos in the past.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was an 8-hour video edit just from the day beginning to the day ending. It was just brutal to get those done. But the getting all that information out there was so valuable. So I'd love to bring it back. But the point is, we were making content that Meta could not have ever done, and not in that speed and not in that time frame. And the app is changing so fast. If you look at it from month to month, things are changing. And so we'd built hundreds, probably 100 tutorials at the time. And I sent a message to a guy at Meta. We were still in the beta. And I was like, hey, just by the way, if you ever wanted to hire me to do some like video editing contract work, I'd be happy to, make some videos for you guys. Because they were publishing a couple like really bad videos.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they just had the... No
dry.
offense to anybody watching this who tried and worked on that program. I love both of the people who worked on it that I'm talking about. I really do still. But they lost their jobs recently, so it's been really hard.
I
we
bet
lost some
that's hard
really
on
good
everybody.
people. But they were working on making videos for the community because you had to do it internally, but nobody was assigned to be an educator or a videographer or a video editor. And so they all did it themselves without any skills whatsoever. And they were so cringe. They weren't necessarily accurate or easy to follow. Some of them would be like 10 minutes to do something that we'd show in like 1.5 to 2 minutes. And we were like, this isn't what the community needs. This isn't helping anybody. And so we managed a few months later, they would reach out and say, hey, do you guys still want to do videos for us? We'd love to do like a whole education series. So we sent a proposal over. We got it approved. It's the least money we ever made off Meta. But honestly, the value we were able to provide in that, and we just, in the original plan, it was just meant to be like 4 of us working on the project, and we'd end up going and hiring an additional 12 people so that represented the community, because that's what we really wanted to do, was just, not necessarily just be Laex05 showing every single video, which is part of the reason we didn't make a lot of money, but that's not what's important to me, right? Like, what's important to me is we do the right thing. And so we got all those videos out, had Phoenix featured, we had Elastic and Sandwich and Vu, and I can't even name them all, even K-Simon. It was awesome to have so many amazing people just get featured in in this series of videos, and yeah, that was the original series. Not even all of them have been posted, so it's a part of the heartbreak, which I'll share with you today. Is Meta's been in the press negative over and over and over again. So last year they pulled the plug on pretty much everything we were doing, and so education got completely removed from the YouTube channel. We created a YouTube channel so we could post the educational videos because we didn't have any other outlet, and now they're actually literally telling us we're not allowed to post educational videos there anymore. So we've we were doing it all on YouTube on video. So make sure you subscribe to Video Tutorials. We're gonna keep posting educational videos. That's what we do. But we're hoping to see what happens this year. But they're really cutting back costs, and we're gonna try and make money other ways. So you'll be seeing we're gonna launch a merch line soon. We're gonna be doing some like kudos boards in some of the video worlds. So just expect to see some of those things coming around that you wouldn't have otherwise seen. It's not meant to be like, please go pay if you've ever had, like, it's only for people who have money to spend. Like, if you guys feel like you can, please do, but if you don't worry about it. Like, education is meant to be free. It's a person that I imagine myself as a kid. I remember being young, I had no money. I remember being in college making $80 a week and like barely being able to afford my food, and so anything that was free is what I attached myself to. And so I really build this for the where is the guy, the little kid still here? The little guy, wherever he's
the Soapstone guy. The Soapstone guy. He's probably bouncing around out there. He's probably outside the courtyard.
It's for those kids out there who are just starting out in their journey, and it really helps them too. So anyway, I just imagine myself back then and who I used to be.
Which is
now
so
I can
great.
afford to buy something, but that's the blessing of getting older, I guess.
Yeah, and it's the beauty. It's the beauty of this place, because thankfully there are so many people like you, that really are that way in here. And it's just I just get so gushy about it. I love Horizons. I love all the people in it. It's such a community-based place. It's beautiful. So I love it. I want to let you guys have anything else you want to say, but I really want to give all of these guys a chance to talk to you and interact. So if there's something else anybody wants to say before we let that happen, please go ahead.
Yeah,
you guys all
I want
good?
to say quickly, because I know Laex loves to share and chat, but I want to say quickly before anybody else gets a chance too, that Laex literally, since the day I've met him, has been nothing but just giving of everything that he has to offer, whether it's knowledge, time, experience. And something that has never changed with Laex is that thing he's been consistent is always thinking about how he can help other people. So if there's anything you can take away from either watching the show or getting a chance to meet Laex, it's please do the same, because something that Waffle said to us was that there's no greater thing than educating somebody who's going to continue to share that with others, because then that continues to just scale out to more and more people. So without people actually like taking the time to hear what he has to offer, but also learn and then share that with others, becomes even more valuable. So if you get the opportunity, anything that you have to share in this community, give it away, and things do come back to you. Just like at the beginning of your show, you said people who are out here doing the most for nothing, giving it away, sharing, and just being of service to others are succeeding in here. So please just continue doing that.
Yep. Absolutely. Well said, Oculos. All right, let's open it up. Y'all, you want to make a comment, a question? Go ahead, Sturm.
So I have a question for Laex. What has been your biggest challenge in the metaverse, and how have you overcome that?
Besides me.
Probably the haters, if I'm being honest. Being metaverse famous means there's actually people who hate me. And
for no reason. I know.
I'm a very emotional based person, so things like that I take 2 days at least to process, and it doesn't matter how many times people say don't listen to the haters, it still hurts.
I love you for saying that, because I'm exactly the same way. They can send me to bed almost. So I totally get it. I
wouldn't even agree at saying it's haters as such. It's people that are jealous of your success and just jealous of who you are. And they turn that jealousy into hatred because they can never succeed to be, well, they can, but they just don't have the drive and the
willpower. They don't do it.
They don't do
no
it.
drive.
So
it's the drive.
It's the drive. And you are committed. I've seen, even watching your videos, like, you can feel the commitment through the video. I don't know how, but you can. You'll have to teach me that one day. But yeah, yeah, it's definitely something that can knock you back, but you clearly have done a fantastic job overcoming it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was an unexpected answer, Lakes. I mean, of all the things that you've encountered in the metaverse, it's the people who share that negative energy. I mean, that's a great answer. I mean, those are the people that really just block them and move on. But I know you take some time to process it.
Yeah, yeah. I meet lots of great people, and so I do try to keep moving forward. It's pretty hard. I had the other day. There was a guy on Discord who just was like, Lakes and Oculus and Waffle are the worst people on the planet, and they don't know how to teach, and they do everything wrong, and I don't know. It was so much. That one was really hard. I don't know. Yeah, and I'd love to just think they're jealous, but I don't know. I just like takes it so personally. He's like, you don't have a college degree. I was like, you don't know me. Have you looked at my LinkedIn profile? I do have a college degree.
You don't know me exactly. You don't know my life.
You don't know me.
That's so true. So true. So true.
Anyway.
All right. Thanks,
So
Stern. That was a
hard,
great question. How about anybody else? Comments, questions? This is our big chance. We got these superstars up here. Come on, guys.
Tomato
Anything?
is
Come on up,
a
Herbert. Come
vegetable.
on up.
Hello, Herbert.
Oh, we got to turn the open mic off,
Avora,
please,
could you turn the
Avora.
stage off, please?
Yeah, the open
Remember
mic.
to unmute
It's
your
the
mic,
open mic.
Herb, as well.
Okay, thank you, sweetie. Okay, Herbert. Should work now. I hope. There we go.
Well, let me open up. Let me open my menu
There
up
we-
because I got the drifts bad. Oh, okay.
There we go. There we go.
Oh gosh. Man, I just really want to just thank you for just creating some amazing scripts, man. Even in some of my worlds, especially creating Metacourt, it helped me out a long time. Man, when I first started, and I
love
just really
Metacourt.
want to just give you your flowers.
Thank
because
you.
I don't know when the next time I'm gonna see you. And so what I really want to do for you, man, I'm actually creating a world that's actually appreciating the players somewhat like a gala in Metacourt. And because of what you have done in Horizon World, if you are available, I want to present an award to you, man. And
Oh, wow.
and just bless you with that, man. Just really show you
That is so sweet.
my appreciation.
Thank you.
And I will talk to you later about it. So thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks,
you.
Herbert. Thanks, Herbert. Yeah.
Metacourt.
And you
Oh
know,
my
people
God.
forget.
I think that was a
People
subpoena.
forget that, and I know you do hear it, but people forget that even though you know that you've done a really good job, I know you guys are ignoring me. I'm ignoring you. You know you've done a good job, but it is nice to have people say it to you, especially when someone tells you directly that I personally benefited from something you did, and thank you for that. And I,
Personal
you know,
stories are
people say,
so
"Oh, he doesn't need to
important,
hear that from me. He doesn't need to hear that from me." Well, you do. We all do. So, thank you so much, Herbert. Go ahead, Oculus.
I know I'm monopolizing time. There's one other thing that I do want to say, and I don't know
Who
if I've
invited
ever
this
said
guy?
this publicly, but I know I've said it at least once. Early on when I started, I didn't know what my space was going to be in here because I wasn't a creator, not a scripter. And Lakes, every step along the way, has found a way to include me, even adding me as an editor, knowing I'm not going to create anything. And he would just kind of like have me there as moral support or just to talk to or to test things or break through walls and, irritate the hell out of them. But it gave me more of like motivation to do more and create my first world. So, I mean, I just can't thank you enough for everything that you've done early on through now. And it's the things that you don't realize that are impactful really do leave a lasting impression with people. So I just appreciate you.
All right. Yeah, that's awesome. Anybody else?
While we wait for the next person to come on up, Herbert, I just had to share with you that the people
Kobe,
at
come
Meta,
this
they
way.
came to me and they were like, Metacourt, have you heard about this thing? It's so crazy. Honestly, it revolutionized. When your world came out, people were like, wait, this idea of role play is so important in this experience.
good
And
one.
Anyway, just really wanted to say thank you for creating your world, and it's blessed us all. So thanks for
Yeah, Herbert
bringing
was
us all
on here
up.
last week, and it was awesome. We learned a lot about him and what
Cobra,
he's
come
doing
on
in
up.
here. Great guy. Cobra, come up. Ask your question. Oh, you can do it, Cobra. Jump. Jump.
Jump.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Good. Good. Worried about that.
Okay, cool.
Don't break your legs.
Cool. I haven't drank today, I promise. No, my question to you is: spending so much time in Horizons and VR, how does it affect your day-to-day life and your life outside of Oculus?
It can be hard sometimes. That's definitely true. I mean, it's not like I go into an office for 12 hours a day, or I used to I flew 52 times a year in my previous life before this. I was all around, like I said, the world doing video work, and so I wasn't home a lot. So now I'm here, and I'm constantly in VR, but I'm still not really here, right? So, it's it can be hard, that's for sure. I'm always working to get better. It's a hard balancing act. We spent a week this past couple weeks in Mexico. We spent a week there, which was the first time I'd really taken some time off in about a year, and that was really, really healthy. And when I took time off, I'm still in VR. We started the Horizon Royale project, but that's the thing, is I was able to do something I was really passionate about, which now I'm like throwing all my passion towards it, which is a lot of fun. It's also important to note that passion doesn't last forever, so you got to make sure you have some like a way to continue things. And so Oculus is going to be helping us make sure we get leaderboards in there that are getting reset, and we'll be working with people like Euphoria, perhaps Takatato, who help us keep new maps coming in. And so that, I know at some point in the next month or so, I'm going to burn out on that project. I'm just going to be done and moving on to the next thing. That's just my personality. I can only do stuff while I'm like, let's go. And then I'll be working on another tutorial or another live stream. Anyway, whatever it is that's coming up next, I know it's going to be fun. But for now, this is where I'm at. So I just want to make sure people don't feel like passion's the only thing that drives them, because you'll just not finish something. So you got to have like a plan for when it's done. Anyway, wait, what was the question again? Oh, balancing your life and your family.
Family? Who are they?
Yeah, so it's like I said, it's really hard. But that time with the family this past week, I mean, it's been 7 months since my daughter was born, and this was the first time I really felt like I connected with her, because I've been so heads down at work for the last 7 months, and I don't know. I've actually felt like I've started to build the bond there that I honestly, 6 months was going by, and I was like, I don't have any connection to my daughter yet. I'm feeling like there's something wrong with me. And now I feel like I've broken that ice, getting to take some time away. Even though I wasn't always away, I went to world tours last week and Oculus wasn't there. Okay. Like I was in Mexico. Oh, man. I love Horizon. Okay. You just can't keep me away. But it's definitely a balancing act, to be sure. So.
Yeah, we were just talking about this the other day, that 1 hour in real life. Oh, wait a minute. How did we say that? Like we think we're coming in here for an hour, like and then next thing I know, it's like 5 hours later when we come back out. Going, oh shoot! Yeah. Oh yeah, it's easy to lose track. Yeah,
I try to schedule things with my wife. Like I'm like, okay, if we need to do that, put it on my schedule. So like, I know it sounds ridiculous, but honestly, it helps. So yeah,
we need an alarm going off.
Like every month or so, we have a check-in. Like that's why I was like the people person until he actually gave me a title, because I was always checking in with the team, because there's always so much to do, but we don't actually focus on how are people doing. How are you doing? And so Alex and I have a check-in every now and again, and I'll say, how are you feeling right now? What are you passionate about? What's the next thing if you're starting to be, demotivated? And that, it's kind of a good, helpful way to just check in and make sure that mental health is good, but also getting a break once in a while. So that's why I'm always hard on them about going the hell to sleep.
You're so right. Cal and I do that. We have conversations totally unrelated to this place at all, because we're people. How's your life going? How you feeling? What's going on? And I think that's, important, because we're people first,
right.
And this is secondary. Absolutely. But and I think it helps you understand their yin and yang, like, they're experiencing something today. So maybe they're a little short-tempered or something,
Yeah. This world,
I love him. I love him so much.
I truly feel like this is just the extension of the real world. We haven't, there's nothing that's far different here. I'm sure you get some kids who can be loud and obnoxious. If you went to a daycare, you'd probably get the same thing, honestly.
Heck yeah.
But it's we have these conversations, we have these really cool shows, we have, events, and we hang out, and we have real conversations at the fire or wherever you're going. And man, it's this is the real world. So
I have a question. Is anyone else I'll let somebody go first if anyone. You got a question, Batman? Yeah. Or are you just leaning back there? Come on up. Come on.
I just want to say to you, like I know you know a lot about building worlds and stuff, but it's like for me, like I discovered this place during the summertime, and I just found a lot of people that I connected with personally, and I found a sense of finally being myself here. So, yeah.
Yes, that's
I
what
hear
it's
that.
about.
So
It's what it
true.
is about. Because like they've all said it. I've heard everybody in here say it. You know, the builds are important. The scripting is important. All of it obviously matters. But what also matters is who walks through the door. Who's in those rooms, because you know we want to feel welcome, we want to feel a sense of belonging, and a lot of people do a lot of work to make that happen in here, and it doesn't necessarily involve scripting and building. It's the community building part. And so yes, be part of that, you know, celebrate that. We all need to continue to do that. It's really
Funny,
important.
I was saying about this the other day. I think it might have been you I was talking to, saying that you could just publish the grid, you know, just a grid, and you could make that popular just by having people come in and talk to them. Because people stay for the conversation, for the connection. Like, and I'm tempted to just publish the grid, you know. So no one take that.
And call it the grid. We'll call it the grid. The
There's
grid.
12 of them already. Seriously, we're gonna feature
Already?
it.
Oh, right, okay.
Somebody
Really?
nominated the grid for tours. I was like, nah.
It's a tried and true method, though, Trainer Cal, which is that people don't necessarily need to have. They just need a space to be.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, I've seen literal black boxes that I've hung out with 32 people in before. And, like, this is absolutely, it totally does happen. In fact, the Horizon Royale was inspired by a couple of the top 20 worlds. Can you remind me the creator's name? He's done the Star Wars Sandbox. Immortal, I believe.
OcuLos410. Oh,
Anyway,
Immortal? Is it the
That's
sandwich?
Immortal.
Yeah,
You've got
and so he's got
Immortal,
he's
yeah,
got
so-
all these worlds built on the grid, and the kids absolutely adore it. So we took some inspiration for that with Horizon Royale, and you'll notice there's a grid in there, which is paying homage to the fact that people love playing on the grid, and so it literally is a grid for you to play on, and then we spawn items in, so it feels a lot like a sandbox a little bit. Anyway, absolutely, there's nothing wrong with the grid. I definitely would put something more than nothing, but you know, if all you know how to do is pull out a block and it's not snapped, that's totally okay. You know, those
That's
first
cool.
steps are important. And whether you're a creator or not, Batman, I totally agree. You know, like you don't have to be a creator to be in here. Oculus is a perfect example of that. His entire journey was just checking out other people's worlds and showing it to his friends and the people he met in the plaza. And so you definitely don't need to be a creator to enjoy the space and meet amazing people.
No, you absolutely don't. You absolutely don't. I do have a question that I know you don't have an answer to, but I just like to hear your take on it. I just would like to hear your take on it.
Okay.
What do you think is the reason that our events are such a mess? Like we had this perfect event system and now it is just chaos and a mess. And it just seems so integral to Horizons. It seems like something that would be a focus, and maybe it is. But I'm just wondering what your take is on the whole event problem.
So
Without breaking
I will
any NDA.
strictly say, without breaking any NDA. Well, I will say that I actually had like a 4-hour conversation with Wafflecopters and several other people at the Pacific Northwest meetup a couple weeks ago about this exact conversation, and I'll share some of what we kind of concluded there. So I wouldn't say it's just my thought, but it's a kind of collective. And I don't know that I 100% believe it. I want to say that it's okay to change your mind. I think this is something we should all be okay with. So first of all, I write stuff down all the time, and I write it down just so it's written down, not because I necessarily believe it's true. So especially when I'm world testing with people and they've got an idea, I'll write it down and then I'll come back to it later with fresh eyes. So the same thing is true with what I'm about to say. I don't know that I'll believe this next week, but Horizon doesn't have a team working on events. That's my first thought. I don't know that that's true or not, but based on what you're seeing, there's nobody assigned to work on events. I don't think it was ever good. I think it was always making steps and progress in the right direction, but I would never say it was actually good. There was a point where Oculos literally had them manually putting it into the event system, and that worked pretty well because it showed up on everywhere. But that wasn't good for the community as a whole. It was good for 3 or 4 events.
Yep.
It didn't scale. The event system has never really been where I think it should go. And the conclusion we did come to, though, and the reason they don't have any resources being put into it is because events are a one-time thing. If somebody joins right now and they happen to end up here, this will be a groundbreaking experience for them in their first visit to Horizon. But this event happens once a week for a couple hours in the morning. That doesn't happen every day. If they show up tomorrow at the exact same time, it's not happening. If they can't make it to the next event, it's not going to work for them. And so the thing that is so important right now to Meta is what worlds get people to stay and get people to find connections. And this is the important part, you guys. It is what worlds can people meet their next friend in, because that friend is what keeps them coming back and keeps them finding new worlds. And so it really is about the people. And while events definitely can do that, there isn't, they aren't necessarily happening every hour of every day. I know Oculus would like to make world tours happen of every hour of every day, but obviously there's only enough Oculus to do it 3 times a week or however many times he's doing it. I can't even attend them all because it's amazing how many he's doing. But I'm always there on Wednesdays, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. World tours. Hope to see you there. And so that's kind of like thought one. I believe they're going to come back to it. Events will become a very important part of the metaverse. There's no doubt about it. They're just really heavily focused on what worlds are going to get people to meet their next best friend. And so, you've got Action Island where you shoot people. You don't necessarily have to talk, but when you do talk, you might get that personal connection. You get the Soapstone Comedy Club being featured. And anything you see being featured, there's probably why it's being featured is because they think that's the one where you're going to meet your next best friend if you're a brand new user. So if you're trying to make a world that you think is going to hit that, try to think about that. If you're really going for that top 20 slot, make sure you can make connections there. And it's all about that human connection.
And I agree with you so much. And I have told many people that have asked me, like, what do you think is the secret? Because, not that I know, but what do I think? And I think, I have looked at the most amazing worlds. They're beautiful. They're integral. The craftsmanship is there, but they're empty. Why is that? So in my opinion, the worlds where the creator makes themselves available, if they're there or somebody is there to say, come to this world, I'm here to welcome you. Those are the worlds I want to stay in. And those are the worlds I see other people staying in. A world where I walk through the door and the creator is just not there, or the creator doesn't pay 1 second of attention to me, I don't feel so welcome. And that does happen. They're off at the corner and they don't say anything to you.
I want to take a second, though, to say, I get it. Top 20, everybody wants to be there. Everybody wants to be in whatever the new menu option is. That should not be your goal. Look, we've got Horizon Royale trending right now within our several friend groups, and it's got hundreds of visits, and that's insane. It's still not top 20. And I just think that these expectations we set or we put on ourselves are only going to demotivate us in the future. And you gotta just be very okay with the fact that you have people coming and checking out your world, even if it's just your friends. I think maybe a fun example of this, and with utter respect, Mama Brie has built Girl Scout Mountain, and it's such a fun world. And I think this is a really good example of a world that's never going to be in the top 20, but it is such a fun experience, especially when Mama Brie's there to tell you about how her kid did the voice recording and how you can buy cookies from her online. And it goes a step further than that, which is, it was featured at World Tours as one of the tours that week. And so we all got to go there as an experience. And so I think that's really a huge option, is just getting people to go and check it out with you and living in that moment. It doesn't mean you need to see it constantly filled with people and just being, I don't know. So I'll tell you one other thing, but what I want to first say before I get to thing about YouTube hours is Oculus has built a page inside of the Vidu Discord. So first of all, you go to vidu.com. In the footer, there's a link to our Discord. And on our Discord, you can submit your world to be featured. So if you don't make it to the world tours because the timing isn't good for you, you can still submit it and it'll be featured. And the way we do this on world tours is we go one of the featured worlds, then we go to one of the worlds for somebody who's present in the world, and then we do that back and forth until we visited as many as we can in a week, and then it's featured for a week. So I think that's another really great opportunity for people who want to get their worlds out there, but don't necessarily get the ability to be featured in the top 20. Obviously, it shouldn't be featured in the top 20. There's only 20 worlds there, okay? There's thousands of us. Okay, so I just want to lower that expectation first. And then the thing that I wanted to say is I set myself on YouTube a really, something that made me feel good early on was saying, if I make a video and it gets an hour of watch time and it takes me an hour to make it, that's perfect, right? It's like spending time one-on-one with someone. And so I always made videos rather than doing one-on-one because I knew I could reach more people. But I was as long as I'm getting 1 hour to 1 hour of time, that's a good investment in my time. So you think Sensei Jay recently posted a video, or so did Garrett Sky. They've been making shorts recently, and they're getting a few hundred views. And that's an hour of time, and it takes them about an hour or so to make the video. that's like a perfect trade. It's like they're getting that information out to hundreds of people, and it only took them, an hour. Anyway, it's just like thinking about what is your number that makes you kind of like happy and like content. So sometimes when I'm feeling down about like the fact that our YouTube channel is still only at like 400 views per video, I look and I'm like, oh, we're getting 2 hours per hour of the day of watch time, right? So that's like 48 hours every day of people watching videos. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. It's like having 8 people full time helping people one-on-one. And so like that's kind of like how I imagine it. And that's really helped me feel okay with the fact that we're not hitting millions and we're not actually making money on YouTube. We get like $100 a month. It's not much, but
hey,
but it feels good.
I'd say it pays your cable bill, but it doesn't, does it? It doesn't even do that anymore. It buys us McDonald's 3 times. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you know what I mean? It's not about the money. It's always about like, how many people can we help, and whether it's spending one-on-one time. We've been blessed to get opportunities with both Meta and some new companies are coming and reaching out to us. So, like I said, these good efforts always kind of like pay back dividends later on. And yeah. So anyway, I just want to encourage anybody who's aiming for top 20 to stop aiming for top 20. You're only going to hurt yourself doing that.
Right.
So,
well, I think when I was making that comment, I wasn't necessarily people out to be top 20, but they'll say that to me. They'll say, what's wrong with my bar? What's wrong with it? It's and nothing. It's gorgeous, but you have to build the community, or a group of people have to decide that this is now their place, because that's what keeps them going, is when because everybody tells me that when in the morning in the Soapstone, because I'm in here at the crack of dawn, right? People will go, oh, I came here because there's people here. I came here because there's people here, and that's how.
The problem you have with that as well. Like I've had the same experience at the British pub. And then they break off. It's like patches of ice in the sea. Beautiful. They break off and form their own community, and then they go build their own place, inspired by where they started.
Right.
And it dawned on me recently, and it only just hit me that I'm inspiring people to build their own communities, which is only going to make this platform that we're all working on together hard to succeed. So it doesn't anger me if people come up to it. Are you annoyed that they've left? No, I'm really happy for them. If anything, I want to encourage them to keep doing it, and it just makes the platform grow. Otherwise, we're going to fail together.
That's right.
I always have this vision. We march hand in hand, 1 foot at a time together to make this platform successful. It's the only way of doing it.
Building on what you said, though, it is very true. Being in your world does help. I think sometimes people think that's the answer to get to top 20, which is why I wanted to really stomp on that idea, because when you're in the world, you'll build those communities, just like Trainer Cal was saying. You'll also want to listen to the people. You'll hear me if you're in any of the worlds that I'm building right now. I'm constantly like, oh, I'll write that down. And I literally pull out my phone and I write it down, because these people have massive impacts. They don't even realize it. And then they'll come back and be like, oh my gosh, there it is. There's
you did it. Exactly. Exactly.
But that builds the community around your world, and it builds this, it's a snowballing effect. So I definitely would encourage you to not only be there, but also listen and allow them to take part in the build. So I think that's really important in building a community.
Did Kobe get to answer this question? Oh my gosh, I blanked out. Kobe, did you get to ask your question?
He did.
You were over here. He did. Okay, I'm sorry.
I asked
okay, I lost the last 10 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, is there anyone else who has any last minute questions or comments? You're welcome to. Aaron, did you want to?
Yeah.
Come on.
So real quick, I got to do my quick testimonial, as you two always know. Video verification program, amazing. Anyone who thinks about doing it, do it, because that has been the best. I couldn't thank these two more for anywhere that I'm going recently. Without these two, I couldn't make it, and Sensei J too. I just really had to come up here and tell you guys that you guys are doing amazing things. I always, like I've told Oculus before, wholeheartedly believe in everything that you guys are doing for this community. It's been now my passion to help you guys, to help this platform. And I just really couldn't thank you guys more for everything you do. I mean, I always hang out with Laex and some of his builds and just listen to him kind of rant on of what he's in his head. But I like I said, I just had to come up and give you guys your flowers of just everything that you guys are doing.
Thank you.
All right. Great stuff. Great
one
stuff.
of the long time running
so
jokes was when you build with Laex at random points, he goes off into the clouds where he has all the script blocks lined up, and he'll just go up there and talk to himself. So I would always throw out there like a random word like iterator, and it would randomly fit. And he'd be like, "Oh my God, that's it! Thank you so much, Oculus." And I'm like, "Yeah, contribution."
Yay!
Yes.
That's great.
So true.
Aaron, are you coming up to say anything? Or you just there you go.
He's gonna say this has been great, and he's gonna kick us off.
This has been great. Yeah.
This has been great.
I do have to say though that Lally and Trainer, the way you guys have stepped into this Good Morning Soapstone and just bring in, just heavy hitting guests and make it entertaining for all the folks here. I just appreciate you so much. Thank you for just grabbing a hold of this and making it yours and just knocking it out of the park. And of course,
Thanks.
OcuLos. You are somebody who I connect with on a regular basis, and you inspire and motivate me. And as Laex was talking early on in the show, like you've got a real good business sense, and you're not scared to ask some challenging questions and challenge some preconceived notions. And it's been very helpful for me. So thank you. And Laex, of course. Lolly mentioned it, across the board, people have great things to say about you. And I truly believe that two things. One, you're one of the people that has laid the foundation for collaboration and community growth. And that's just so huge. I know you've inspired me towards that. And then also, from a business perspective, you are somebody who I very much look up to because you've figured out a way to both give, and yet operate a successful business in here as well.
Yes.
So kudos to you on that. Thank you for being a part of this, and thanks for the example you set for the community and me.
Yes,
Thank you.
all of us. Thank you guys. Thank all of you. We appreciate you. And we have kept you guys an extra 20 minutes, and I so apologize for that. We just got off on this tangent. It just kept going, and it's great. And I will give you kudos for that, too, because almost everybody's still here. So that's pretty impressive. So thank you all for hanging out. We appreciate you guys very much. And Mayhem, thanks for taking over up there before I must have to go. And Mayhem's up there in the booth taking over. Appreciate you very much. So
she wasn't feeling very well, so I stepped in at the last moment.
Oh, well, thank you, Mayhem. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. And Micah, thank you for being here and helping us. And Sturm, as always. And everybody else, thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
Matheson at the back, thank you.
Yes. Yeah, Corporal. I didn't even see him. Is he back?